back, everybody, to another Nemesis League matchup here. We saw a pretty good one a second ago there in the Titan League, but we're off to the Challenger League where we got Motion facing off against Snowstorm. And I'm joined here for, I believe, the second time in a row with Speed. How you doing, Speed?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Excited to get into this action here we have in this Challenger League. Snowstorm's been killing it, and Motion is looking to increase their win column here.
Yeah, definitely. Motion's going to be looking for a big win here, a big upset against this Snowstorm team who's riding a cool 7-1. Gotta use the bad puns there. Um, they're having a good record there at 7-1, so it's gonna be up to Motion here to find some sort of consistency, as Snowstorm's got a pretty good roster on the other side and a lot of returning members from their org from last season as well.
Yeah, Snowstorm definitely has that chemistry going so far. Local returning. I believe Fate is returning as well, and then they added Ksen to that, which a lot of people in Nemesis, they know who Ksen is, and he's always on the lookout for list, and so far he's been proving to stay on that list. Combination with those two other players I mentioned, it's it's honestly it's very scary looking. And then on the other side for Motion, you got some well-known Nemesis members as well. You got Poseidon, Wolfey, and King Moth, who they're all known names as well in Nemesis, and they've made their mark for themselves. So, they're not having quite the season that they would hope for, but those three players, they have the capability in them to have a great season like this No Source season is so far.
Yeah, and with the Challenger League, well, actually, rival through prospect, there's still 10 playoff spots up for grabs, so certainly Motion could weasel their way in there, even though they don't have the best record right now. And I was wondering whose name that was all blurred out with the asterisk. So that would be King Muff there. But yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Ksen. Yeah, he may not have been in the league since season 1, but surely he's been here since around season 3, season 4, and he has made a huge name for himself, picking up 2 MVPs in the past season. He's looking to maybe even pick up another MVP here in Challenger as he's promoted up. And he's just a beast right now for the Snowstorm team, and that's probably a big proponent as to why they've been doing so good. So if I'm Motion here, I would probably try and shut down Ksen.
Yeah, anytime Kaysen's on the pitch, you have to worry about him. You definitely, I think that has to be your main target to shut down is when you're going up against Kaysen. Um, it's just a have to. But Bagels, we're underway here, so let's get this going.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't have to wait too long as all the players were ready when the lobby was created. Opening pressure will go to Snowstorm, but quickly Wolfey is going to send this one out. Now Local off the backboard, getting a good 50 up. Poseidon there for the shot, off target. Not quite the power he was looking for. Here's Fate to the middle. Good pre-flip off the sidewall, but Local essentially faking out the last 2 defenders. Looking for a pass off the backboard. Poseidon can't find contact. This one will roll slowly back onto the Snowstorm half. And Fate with another good hit off the sidewall, and Wolfey going to be last back. Trying to play it patient, but couldn't find the read. Ksen there for the shot, almost back post. And just miss it out on that last one. The first minute here, Speed. A little bit of topsy-turvy action, but Snowstorm looking like they have the majority of the pressure.
Yeah, both teams have had a scoring opportunity, but Snowstorm's keeping that possession for the most part here. And Motion has to try to get that figured out before they're able to get too much momentum here in this first game, and they got to kill that early.
Yeah, and a good pass off to the left side of the field there over to Poseidon, but he couldn't find the accuracy. Again, that's 2 shooting opportunities as this one's slow rolling its way all the way in. Poseidon will get the cleanup hit, but I was going to say Poseidon's struggling with the accuracy, but kind of a strange open net opportunity right there.
Yeah, I heard the demo, and then you see Fate spawn in there as the goal happens. So I don't know who got the demo there, but they cleared up that back end, and Wolfey doing a good job just getting up, meeting that ball, and putting it on target. And sometimes that's all you need. You just have to get the ball on target and good things happen. And it did there for Motion, giving them that 1-0 lead to start this game.
Absolutely. Just putting a shot on will make a defender do something. Even all the way in Titan League, mistakes will be made. I don't know if any crucial mistakes were made in the last series as I was playing my own, but I'm sure somebody made a big mistake when a shot was put on target. Any pressure is welcome pressure. But I will say, Speed, both these teams are looking a little awkward in the rotation. A lot of just people in the same spot and even a few whiffs coming out from multiple players at the same time. And I might expect that out of Motion, but from Snowstorm, it's a little concerning against a lower tier team in Motion right now.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising here. I don't know if for Motion, if anything has to do with it. I've seen Wolfey's ping. He's been having some ping issues early on in this first game, so I don't know if that has anything to do with them. They're trying to compensate if he's, having some ping issues or whatnot. And Poseidon just flashed a little bit, but for the Snowstorm, yeah, it's uncharacteristic for them to have rotational issues, especially with Ksen. I know Ksen thrives off of having great rotations, and that's why he succeeds with what teams he's on. Is they're well-oiled rotational machines. So it's a little weird to see. Maybe they didn't get as much of a warm-up in as you would like to see. Maybe it's game one, so hopefully game two, both teams can bounce out of it.
Yeah, definitely a low scoring output, or low shooting output from both these two teams. Snowstorm at only one shot, Motion not far ahead with two. As now Fate looking to get this one out, looking to get the double big 50, but wolfey there sends it away from danger, and again off the side ball. But now Ksen will not be getting back to this ball as he will be eliminated off the field. Fate, a little awkward, wasn't expecting the bounce to come out that way perhaps. It's now wolfey getting a big save off of Ksen's touch, and now Muff looking to follow his own. Good 50 to the middle, wolfey up, but Ksen likely beats him, and he does. It's going to be some good space for Fate here, but can't find the touch off the sidewalls. Looking for the pass, but too heavy to the middle. Ksen not able to corral that one, didn't even make an attempt at it. As Muff wisely leaving this for wolfey, and now the final minute left, Speed, and we only have two shots apiece here, but I feel like Motion, if they can hold on to this lead, they may have just very well stolen this game one.
Yeah, and they definitely have. They other than small rotational issues, they've looked pretty good. They're getting clears into the corner, and they're able to follow up and maintain and keep that pressure that they're after getting those clears. So, very weird to see Ksen in a game and his team only having 3 shots. I mean, he does have 2 out of the 3, but if you're Snowstorm here, Ksen right on point, gets that 3rd shot, ties up the game with 20 seconds to go. I was just getting ready to say, if Snowstorm wants to be competitive in this game, Ksen has to start getting hot, and right on cue, Ksen puts one in the back of the net.
And that was a good shot top left, but the bigger issue was Poseidon was all the way back, and he felt the need to creep up for some reason. He creeped all the way out of the box, and that left wolfey having to race back. Now net open again. Ksen, can he find the read? But Muff gonna race in quickly to deny that opportunity. Now Poseidon on the ball. Can he make up for his mistake earlier on? There for the shot. It's a low roller, and it will not go in. Ksen off to the side. Still dangerous. Ball still up in the half. wolfey lofting it on. Poseidon may be able to dribble it, but it will go down. And we have overtime here in game one, and now it's looking like the offenses are starting to heat up here.
Yeah, it's more fast-paced. They're getting warmed up, like you said, getting more fast-paced, more shots in the game. So this should definitely become, I'm expecting a higher scoring series than this game one, but, starting off game one, overtime, just like the Titan game that we saw before. I'm curious to see how this is going to end.
I made a bit of a face there. I thought that one was going to go crossbar down as nobody was challenging, and again, nobody going for the Motion squad here. And this will be an open net to seal the deal, and ultimately Motion just couldn't find any semblance of coordination off that kickoff.
Yeah, and you see the double commit there. Poseidon coming in from behind the ball, trying to get a clear, and Muff also going up to get the clear, and they just left the goal wide open. Unfortunate rotational effort by Motion there, but you know, they started to pick it up offensively, these two teams. I'm still seeing that ping issue for Wolfey. I don't know if that's a thing, but his ping's 36, but
Yeah, a
he's
little strange.
a little strange. It's showing 36, but it's flashing red like he's having connection issues. So, um, I know that sometimes Rocket League glitches out, but you hope that's not an issue. They didn't ask for a server reset here, so I'm assuming he's fine. But no, Ksen, he came to live late. That's what you expect from the Snowstorm team. Um, and if they want to continue to run with this, Ksen has to stay hot and can't start off games slow like he did in that last one.
Absolutely a big shot to tie it up with, I believe it was about 20 seconds there in game one. And it was a big shot, but ultimately the error was Poseidon. He just pushed up a little bit too far out of net and double committed again on defense to have that opening or closing goal rather for overtime as a slow roller onto net, and Muff will get back to it. But it looks like when Poseidon's on offense, he's putting some shots on. They may not be the greatest shots, but opportunities are being created. But on defense, he's kind of the cause of these double commits here for Motion, unfortunately. And I feel like they have any hope of coming back in this series, they're gonna have to get it sorted out here.
Yeah, and sometimes what you get true first men, and defensively when they're back there, they're always looking to get that leak, to get pushed up, to get into that scoring position, and sometimes when doing so, it ends up biting you in the back just because you're pushing so hard to get into that position. You leave the goal open just too soon instead of just being more reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe he just needs to slow things down a little bit, trust his teammates, and perhaps just space out evenly and figure out the way they need to go here, as nobody challenging here for Motion. And then again, Poseidon cutting off Wolfey again. The error is not fixed quite yet, but still a lot of time left in this game to figure out these mistakes. And I will say, Wolfey may have the ping issue, but he had the most points there in game one as a big shot off the crossbar from Ksen again. Couldn't quite find the highlight accuracy from game one. Big pass off to the middle, Ksen putting it on and didn't quite have the power, but somehow able to slip its way through still.
Yeah, King Muff sitting back post, in great positioning to save that, just not able to get quite behind it enough to get the clear. Out of the net, ends up hitting it off of the side post and in. But honestly, he was in a great position there. Ksen just able to get up and put that in a spot that he wasn't quite able to fully reach.
As a big counterattack on the opposite side, I don't know if Poseidon meant to hit it that low. I thought he might go backboard, but either way, he will put that one underneath after a big bump onto Fate.
Yeah, honestly, smart move there. I personally, I'm not the greatest at doubling, so especially at that close. So I try to keep it low. I thought that was a great play. A lot of people, especially higher up ranks, expect you to go into the air. So sometimes keeping it low is better than popping it up.
Oh no! And another great hit from Poseidon off the sidewall, and I'm not quite sure if that was Wolfey or Muff. Just couldn't find the read. It was open. In fact, they had a lot of time. Could have just waited for the awkward bounce, but a team pinch pass will go in, and Poseidon's going to get the 50 through. And like I was saying, this man is creating opportunities on offense. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
Excellent work there by Poseidon. Getting that goal, putting them up, and he's doing great on offense. And if you can work it out so that Poseidon doesn't have to necessarily be last man back very often, and it's doable. It's not the best strategy, but it's definitely doable. This Motion team can start really looking scary.
Oh! I thought Poseidon was actually going to get the double, but ends up getting clustered on top of the crossbar. I thought he was just about to just get a three-peat there on the offensive side. As on the defense, it ends up balling out his teammate Muff, but not necessarily the worst thing to have this secured in the corner for now. Muff looking to get it out. Big hit. Ksen actually runs out of boost perhaps and not able to find the read. Local going to bail him out. Pass to the middle from Muff. Poseidon there through the smoke. He still finds the save. Was Ksen. It whiffing out this one, and Snowstorm continuing to be awkward here. It's only a 2-1 scoreline speed, but it feels like Motion is dominating here.
Yeah, Motion, the last minute and a half, they've looked really strong, really good. All the pressure is in their favor. Snowstorm looks a little lost out there. You've seen now Ksen go up for 2 balls, and honestly, he's completely missed the read on them and been out of position after missing the read. So I wonder what's going on with that. But you have to give credit to this Motion team. You know, they're fighting for it. They want it. They're coming back from this Thanksgiving break that we just had, and they want to change their season around, and they want to have a positive winning record.
Absolutely. They want to try and get a better record in their division. And if not, try and secure one of those wild card spots into the play-in tournament. They're going to have to continue to play solid here as Poseidon just showing off the air dribble mechanics, using up a lot of boost. He balls out one of his teammates and the whole team, and finally Snowstorm is realizing that Poseidon no longer has a touch, and Local with a good hit off the sidewall, but tough read for any player, even a Titan on that corner read. As Poseidon will get beat out in this corner. Ksen with the pre-flip over Muff, actually. Poseidon's going to have to make a touch last back, and he does. Local off the sidewall, going to be an opportunity for Fate. Good shot from him. Poseidon with a save off the crossbar. Down shot. Still dangerous for Motion here. Local was up, but couldn't find the read. Back to the middle. Ksen pushing. Poseidon again, last back, and another huge save from Poseidon. And I don't think the issue is him being last back speed. It's just, if he's by himself, he's doing damage.
Honestly, yeah, this man has soloed now this whole entire game for the most part. As Wolfey with the insane double tap off the backboard, and I think they're going to take this game too. Up 2 goals with 13 seconds to go, the way they've been playing this game. They just tied up this series.
A great read from Wolfey to get the extra insurance goal, using all his boost to press down and find the accuracy on that play. And the opening kickoff going to go in their favor. Surely this one will go Motion's way, and gotta have a feeling if it's made one more opportunity, one less mistake on defense in game 1, they could be up 2-0 in this series. But either way, they're going to be happy to get back in the win column here, and convincingly so.
Yeah, this Motion team, that game that they just played, you know, that right there should show the rest of Challenger, if they can keep this up, that, you know, they can hang with the best of the best, as, you know, they could just convincingly took a 3-1 win over Snowstorm here, who is, you know, arguably one of the best teams in this Challenger League so far this season. So, you know, sometimes taking a little break, from Rocket League, from some games, some serious games, and just having fun and resetting your mind, you come back and you play better. And so far, it's working in Motion's favor.
Indeed, and perhaps maybe the inverse of that is affecting Snowstorm. Maybe they're just one of those teams that needs a little bit of the chemistry together, and or maybe they're just having an off series. They just don't look crisp. They don't look clean here in this series for whatever reason. Even though they won game 1, it was really kind of either team trying to steal a victory out of that opening game in the series, and luckily they were able to get that one, but completely just getting dominated. It was only 3-1 scoreline, but it really did feel like Motion had complete and total control there in game number 2, and we'll have to see if Motion's going to continue to ride this train, or if Snowstorm and Ksen and company are going to try and make a comeback here.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think the series, the rest of this series is going to be great. You know, you have a top team in Snowstorm here, and, you know, Motion just showed that they can and will be a top team if they can continue to play like that. So this series is definitely going to be great, however it ends the remainder of this series.
Yeah, and it will certainly, well, maybe not certainly, hopefully so. We need a game 5 out of this one. Why not? We didn't get one in the first series. Perhaps we will get one here with another one of the Sub-Zero orgs. As the opening pressure going to go to Motion, but counterattack now in favor of Snowstorm. Wolfey getting a good clear out. This is going to leave Ksen last back, hunting the demo. Wolfey and Poseidon, he was so dangerous in game 2, but he couldn't find the accuracy right there, and now double commit being forced out from Snowstorm. Wolfey charging in. Good pass to the middle. Poseidon there. Tough read for him to put on net on that one. Can't blame him on that opportunity. It's Muff 50 out. Fate there. Double commit, triple commit even, and this is going to leave the net open. And Motion going to have to clean it up. They got to get back to that Game 2 performance because they're slipping into Game 1 right now.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to recover from a double commit, but when you triple commit, the goal is wide open, and great by Snowstorm to capitalize on that. You have to there, but Motion, you have to not allow that. You know, you just played so well in Game 2, and to come out in a little over a minute here in Game 3 and triple commit and leave a wide open goal, you can't let that happen.
Yeah, especially after Poseidon just 10-15 seconds prior, he had an open net essentially off of Wolfey's bump, and he just couldn't seal the deal, and getting scored on shortly after surely does not feel good. And on the opposite side, Snowstorm actually ended up missing a good opportunity a few seconds ago, but now pressure being applied by Motion. As Wolfey, another big demo, this time from Poseidon, but Muff pushed a little too far up and was out of position. Now Ksen with a pinch pass off the side, Muff to the middle, but straight over to Fate, opting to dribble, keep possession, get the boost steal, trying to show off some mechanics of his own. Forcing a double commit, but no dangerous opportunity resulting yet. Local off the backward. Can Ksen find the read? Yes, he can, but just off target. Not quite sure if he would have been able to get that one through. And again, this really feels like a deja vu here of Game 1 speed, low shot totals, but Snowstorm getting the better of the two teams at the moment, and that's a pass to Local.
Yeah, it is. It's almost an exact replica, other than the score right now of Game 1. The pace of the game slowed down, and it's really just teams making mistakes. It's not one team necessarily outplaying the other. It's just Motion making those mistakes and leaving it open goals for this Snowstorm team. And you know, a great Snowstorm team that is, they're not going to miss open goals. So you got to limit the mistakes, and you got to bounce back, play like you did in Game 2, and good things will happen, but you just can't let those mistakes happen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just got to go back to what you were saying, just get Poseidon on the ball, as this one's gonna roll in. No, it's not. It's off the sidewall. Local there. Poseidon with a big save. He got plenty of those in game number 2. Wolfey now on the dribble. Couldn't quite get it on top of his hood, but forcing a save out from the defense. Ball pushed out to the middle, but Wolfey there, and perhaps he should have left it for Poseidon because he was sitting on 0 in the tank. Poseidon there now, putting a shot on. Muff can't quite find it. Can he get it off the sidewall? Getting the bumps, and the bump interference will work out for Wolfey. And I mean, they're not really getting the highest quality shots, but they're certainly getting a lot of bumps here, and finally it pays dividends.
Yeah, their shot quality has been the greatest, but it's not necessarily the shot itself. If you're going to be making plays like that, smart team plays, unselfish, you know, you realize he wasn't going to be able to get the second touch. So, you know, he's going for the bumps. He's trying to disturb their defense for that second man or even third man coming in to be able to take over and get those goals. And they've done that part very well so far. Ooh. As Wolfey gets the pass from King Muff off the corner wall and ties this game up with 1:15 to go.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Speed, but it really feels like all of Snowstorm's goals, I don't want to discredit them, but it really feels like all of their goals are not earned. It feels like they're coming off mistakes, and every time Motion is scoring, it's a pretty good goal. It's either a bump play or a really fast play like that. Although, hold on a second. That goal was earned from Fate. He just shut me up real quick.
You said what? What'd you say about unearned goals? Huh? No. I'll just dribble this off the corner wall and shut you right up. Bagels, I'm sorry, but do you want me to take lead for the rest of this cast? Because that's tough.
That may be the worst caster's curse for me yet. But I think the sad part was that I was actually right. I really do feel like Snowstorm was not getting any good goals, and every single one of Motion's goals, I mean, we've seen the bump plays, we've seen the double tap from Wolfey, great shots from Poseidon, as on the opposite side, a big mistake, and again, another open net miss that Motion cannot convert on, and they have a minute left here. Could try and find something, but it really feels like anytime Motion does score, it's an extremely good opportunity, as this time Ksen getting a bit of a pinch pass, and as soon as I brought it up, I may have just cursed Motion for the rest of this series.
Yeah, I think you might have, because that one was earned
Hit.
too. Great hit, great placement. Snowstorm looks like they have woke up and are showing us why they are 7-1 and why they are considered arguably one of the best challenger teams. Especially this coming back right here after being honestly owned in game 2 shows great characteristics of a great team, you know, being able to bounce back in and then turn around and do it to your opponent.
That is a great point, bringing up the momentum in the series and able to swing it back onto their side and swing it back in a very convincing manner. As Local maybe looking to own goal this. I'm not quite sure what he was doing, but either way, it won't go in for a buzzer beater. And Snowstorm will now be up 2-1 in the series. And again, it's going to be on to Motion here to try and make some adaptations mid-series to confront the Snowstorm roster, who honestly didn't look that solid game 1, game 2, and they had the good shot from Ksen game 1 and game 2. They kind of were just there. But game 3, they showed us who they were. They showed us why they're at that 7-1 record, and now I don't want to say Motion has to be scared, but they gotta work together, because they kind of threw away 2 goals early here in game 3.
Yeah, and that's the really unfortunate part here is, you know, and they know it, that it should be 2-2 overtime right now. And maybe not, because at that point in time, Snowstorm still would have been trailing when they got those last 2 goals. So, it would have put the pressure on them. But, you know, I think Motion needs to give the ball to Poseidon, especially on the offensive attack, and let him make things happen. We saw good things happen when he had the ball in game 2. So I think that's what Motion needs to do, and limit their defensive mistakes. And as Local is going to put it in early on, capitalizing on yet another. Well, I don't know. Did you see that lag on your screen?
Yeah,
that
it was
a
a little
ghost
weird
hit?
hit, but that was an interesting hit out there on the sidle. But ultimately, Wolfey pushed way too far up in the midfield, and he's the one who made that opportunity as dangerous as it was for Snowstorm. Poseidon tried to get a block there on the sidewall, but either way, that's a tough ask for anybody. It's now Motion trying to rally back after giving up another early goal. Good shot from Muff, actually, and I think the double commit may have been blocked by his teammate. Pass over to Wolfey. He can't find contact. A lot of good opportunities for Motion in quick succession, but nothing proving to be fatal yet here for the Snowstorm defense. Side leaving it for Wolfey. Looking for the follow off the corner, trying to put it below, and Local perhaps reading that, not thinking he was going to go for the top shelf shot. Good defense from Local. Looking for the double as Ksen, but just off to the side. Well, not just off to the side. It was way off to the side. But it was a good opportunity, as now that open again, and I'm not quite sure who that was, but again, panic on the Motion defense. When they're on offense, they just look so solid. They're working coordinated. But on defense, there's a switch that's being flipped here, Speed, where the panic switch just gets turned on, and I don't know if they can recover here as the bump play's coming out.
Yeah, you know, Snowstorm caught on what Motion's, you know, game plan is, and, you know, they're like, hey, let's try it out, and it works. I love someone who can go for a pass, and then, you know, their first instinct is, oh, there's someone in goal, I can get there, and they go and look for that demo, for that bump. It's a great strategy, one that I like to try to use myself, but, yeah, I don't know what's quite going on with their defensive rotations, but offensively they're looking great. Defensively, there's that little switch, and I love telling my team, you know, hey, don't panic, like, especially defensively, don't panic. Stay calm. You know, that's when your comms need to be the most on point, and trust your teammates, and that's the biggest thing. And right now I don't think Motion quite is trusting their teammates that they're in the right spot.
And I'm not quite sure who that was for Motion, but not in the right spot were they, as a little bit of an own goal. It was Muffy, just the awkward positioning again, and Snowstorm are going to be up 3-0 here in Game 4, and this is going to be a tough ask. Motion to come down 3 goals, but I mean, really, this has just been such a hot and cold Motion team. We've seen, honestly, some really high quality goals, some really good bump plays, the double tap. And then on the opposite side, there's just strange hits coming out from Motion. There'll be a flip, and they'll just get a soft touch back to the middle or off to the side where there's a Snowstorm player lurking for any mistake. And I don't blame them for lurking for a mistake because Motion have made a lot of them. But it's just so weird because on the offensive half, they're putting up good opportunities. As
And there's
I don't
one
know
right
what
there.
the hell that was. There's just nobody back at a double pre-jump from Motion, and you know, it doesn't really matter how they score at this point, just that they're scoring.
Yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, I love the saying, we take those. Whatever the other team may have done, but you take those. And sometimes that's all you need, you know. You go down 3-0 early on in a game and you let them slip up once and you capitalize on it. That's all you need sometimes. So hopefully that's Motion can get something going here and tie this up and bring this into a game 5.
And I really thought they were going to get something going. Poseidon had a great fake dribble with the 50, and wolfey just wasn't in position, and I thought maybe he should have left it for Muff, but Muff didn't want to push in. Another opportunity gone awry. And that's another big thing, is I think Motion have had more opportunities than Snowstorm. There's been 2 or 3 open nets they haven't been able to find. wolfey here, he's going to find contact with the pass off from Poseidon, and ain't going to miss that one.
Wolfey coming in hot and burying this into that top corner. You know, local unable to get that jump off the wall and get a touch on it. But, you know, Motion looking good right now, bouncing back. It's what they need. Get 1 goal at a time and just limit those defensive mistakes. And we seen that they can easily handle this Snowstorm team as they did in game 2. So they know they can do it. They just have to calm down a little bit, I think.
Absolutely. Certainly easier said than done, though, when they're down the barrel of this 7-1 team trying to improve their season. Ksen with the flip reset, and the net open after a backflip from one of the Motion defenders. It was Muff last back, and after making such a great save off the kickoff, just couldn't find the read there.
Yeah, even with that missed half flip to recover, with Fate being there, I don't know how much of a difference that would have made. Fate did end up just tapping that in, but he was in a good spot. Even if Muff was back, he could have probably beat him to a nice aerial and gotten that still on target. But again, though, situation where Muff pushed up a little too far and out of position and led to that goal.
It's a huge scuffle on the goal line is going to go back to Snowstorm, and there was about 5 players in the Snowstorm box, and hopefully able to push this one away after a very dangerous scenario was about to envelop. As now 40 seconds left for Motion to try and mount a comeback. The offense has been good. They just got to stay calm on defense. Again, a pass to the middle, but Muff not ready. So many opportunities going Motion's way. A shot straight at Ksen. It's not going to prove to be productive right now. They need to get some high quality shot, get a bump play going. That's been their MO at this point. Another huge save coming out from Ksen. wolfey up. Awkward getting the back pass. There's so much pressure, but they can't find it. Buff was pre-jumping for some reason, and it could have been ready, and so many saves coming out from Snowstorm as the final seconds roll in. This will be a Snowstorm victory. And for Motion, I mean, they're 3-5. Well, they're going to be 3-6 now, as Snowstorm will move to 8-1 whenever this ball touches the ground. On paper, Snowstorm should have won this game speed, and they did, but Motion, I'm left wanting more here. I really feel like they were the better team 3 out of 4 of these games. They just made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, on and unfortunately that's how it goes, you know. You may be the better team majority of the games and majority of the time in those games, but if you're not the better team at the right moments and you're leaving the moments that you are not the better team and you make those big mistakes, and you let the other team capitalize on it. All your hard work just goes down the drain. So um, motion's right there. They're right there on being one of those top teams. They just have to fix those little mistakes that they're making that are allowing so many goal scoring opportunities that other teams are capitalizing on.
Yeah, and when they get the offensive output rolling, I mean, they had 11 shots here in this game, and they outscored Snowstorm pretty handily, and one or two of the other ones as well. Just ultimately, the Snowstorm was just the more consistent team. They didn't make mistakes on defense. Snowstorm just didn't make mistakes, and they got scored on a lot. But that's because Motion had to put all their eggs in one basket. They had to send the house for some demo plays, pull out the mechanical double taps, just some good aerials to put something through. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to convert on every single one of those opportunities, as there's just some open net whiffs too. Is just I just got to go back to the drawing board. Maybe a little bit of the Thanksgiving break, playing a factor there. Maybe not playing as much Rocket League, because there was just some shots that I know these players can hit, and they just didn't hit them. And I think if they did hit them, it could have been the difference, because I think there was 3 or 4 open net goals that they could have just changed the tide of the game, changed the momentum even before the scores were as topsy turvy as they were. But I mean, like you said, the record's 3-6 now, but I think they're on the cusp for sure where they could make a push in the playoffs here.
Yeah, I definitely think, if they can turn this around now, get this figured out, by for Wednesday, and they start a nice win streak on Wednesday, they could still have that opportunity to um avoid the play-in tournament and get the 5 or 6 seed. It might be a stretch for them to take over the divisional lead, but they showed spurts where they could easily be a playoff team and skip that play-in tournament. So I'm definitely looking forward. I want to see more of these motion games, especially towards the end of the season, and see how they're looking. Definitely going to be one of the teams that I'm going to be looking out for every day to see those scoring reports and see how they are doing, because you know I want success for them. They showed that they should have more wins tonight. They just got to fix the minor mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had the most highlight moments for sure. I mean, Ksen had some good shots, but definitely Motion proving to have some really highlight real moments there. But that's going to do it for our second matchup of the night, as Blizzard will move on. Not Blizzard, Snowstorm will move on to 8-1. And Motion unfortunately falling to 3-6, but definitely their power ranking stock has gone up, I believe, after that performance. And up for the last matchup of the night, we are going to be going back to the Challenger League, where a similar situation is unfolding. Dissolved at 6-2, and Warriors sitting at 1-7, looking to gain some more momentum, even try and save their season at this point. 1-7 is going to be a tough ask, but we'll catch you guys in a few.